Hello and welcome to this next tutorial, which is on developing and testing ideas. This is actually in section D, which is worth 20 marks, and so it's really worth spending some time doing a good job on this. If we look at the mark scheme, we're looking at about 3 to 4 pages to complete this, but you need to show a wide range of 2D and 3D techniques, including CAD, excellent modelling, to test design ideas, and then you've got to show extensive research. We'll come back to that, but these are the things I want you to focus on. What does this mean in plain English? Well, for top marks, you need to develop a range of 3D models, including CAD, and then test and evaluate how well you've met your specification. So let's take this example of imagining something to go on a kitchen counter. By now you should have got some simple card or paper models, which you can make quickly. And now is the time to start developing and refining them to make them look higher quality, to sort of be able to test them more rigorously. Later, you would also work in CAD and experiment with materials, particularly if you want to get higher grades. And that forms part of a testing and evaluation process. So let's have a look at a simple example to begin. Here, this student's using some sort of lamp, which is also a stationery holder. Simple layout here, pros and cons in green and red, visible models here, although they aren't annotated, but at least you've got basic first models that communicate sort of scale and form. And then there's a slight iteration, so there's a reasonable start. The evaluation is quite basic. Here, really, if you want to do it properly, I'd get that student to actually test it with stationery itself to see if the size is right, to see if it can actually accommodate what it's meant to. But this is good, and they moved on. They're now showing a range of CAD skills, so they've got more accurate views of the product, and then that allows more accuracy and sort of add intricate design features. Again, they've used a similar format of greens in positive, reds being negative. They then went on to refine it even further. They've gone back to card modelling. That's fine, nothing wrong with that. And you can see iterations here of some sort of storage unit that can be taken out. And we've got basic testing here of elements of the design. Again, I'd expect actual stationery to be in it for that to be, judged to be proper testing. There's also a good attempt here at evaluating against the specification, and you can see here client engagement, client comments are in green. So that's a really good way of doing it. Get your client engaged as much as possible. You get marks for that. Here's another example, and just to give you some context, this student was making a gardening aid. So the idea is you put this on the garden, and then it helps an elderly person get up and down when sort of digging up plants and whatnot. But here they're modelling. It's quite simple. It's just corrugated card models. But what's really good is it's models that can be used for testing of stability, strengths, and aesthetics. And you can see that the client feedback is in a purple colour box. Strengths are in green, weaknesses are in red. And there's good written up descriptions that correspond to each of those models. But as I said, this is great for testing now. And this student, they then went on to sort of experiment with materials and construction methods. So they were trying out different ways that their product could go together. Now it doesn't play, but there's actually a video link here where they put weights in it and they were judging which design was more stable. So that was excellent work. So try and test the function of your and strength of your models as you move forward. Again, include an evaluation of what was learned. And by all means, if you need to pause, go back and look at these examples, please do. Here's one more example. This student was making a knife block which had a locking mechanism so a child can get into it. What's really good about this page is they've just mixed it up completely with CAD, with actual functional models. And you've got here testing of a mechanism. They actually did this, I think, at home, and then they brought it in. And they've got CAD modelling to figure out design flaws and very precise details. And then finally, the evaluations here against the specification is a quick look-up way to see how well you've done against your specification. So, what do you need to do? Write an introduction explaining the purpose of testing in 3D. Model your preferred ideas in card, paper, foam board, and more suitable materials. Show refinement and improvement of your modelling, possibly in CAD, possibly in sketches. And then show evidence of analysis and testing. Get client input, then fully evaluate your model and materials experiment against your specification and suggest improvements. Some do's: refine and improve your models with more rigid materials. Test your models for size, function, aesthetics, etc. Document your failures. Really important that. Prove why things don't work and prove your design decisions. Get client input. Experiment with materials and construction methods. And develop the idea in CAD so that you can problem solve accurately and show off particular features. CAD is just another skill set you should be showing. What you shouldn't do, don't be fixated with one idea and don't ignore client feedback. All right, best of luck. Please pause and rewatch if you need to.